Hello dear students and welcome to our English class. Today's lesson is grammar, the passive voice. So get your student books ready, pages 66 and 70. Our objectives for this lesson: 1. Identify the structure and the uses of the passive voice through analyzing 2 sentences. 2. Practice the structure of the passive voice through completing 8 sentences. And 3. Demonstrate understanding of the passive voice through rewriting 3 sentences. Now, read the following sentence and underline the subject, then answer the given questions. The technician repairs the air conditioner. What is the subject in this sentence? Exactly, the subject is the technician. Now, is the subject of the sentence responsible for the action? Very good. The answer is yes, the subject is responsible for the action. He carries out the action. Now, who repairs the air conditioner? Excellent, it's the technician. So in this sentence, the focus is put on the person who carries out the action or the person who is responsible for doing the action. That's why we call it the active voice, which is used to emphasize the doer of the action rather than the action itself. Now look at the second picture, read the following sentence and underline the subject, then answer the given questions. The window is broken. What is the subject in this sentence? Very good, it's the window. Now, is the subject of the sentence responsible for the action? No, the subject is not responsible for the action. Very good. So, it receives the action. Excellent. Now, do you know who broke the window? Of course, the doer is unknown or unimportant. So, the focus in this sentence is on the action itself. That's why we call it the passive voice. And it is used to emphasize the action rather than who or what is responsible for it. Read these 2 sentences and determine how the passive voice is formed. Pause the video, read the sentences carefully, and do the task. Time to share answers. How is the passive voice formed in these sentences? Excellent. Here we have the subject, the air conditioner. After the subject, we use the verb to be and we put it in the appropriate form required by the sentence context. We can put it in the present simple or the past simple according to the context of the sentence. After that, we have the past participle and the technician, who is the agent in this sentence. Very good. In the second example, the window was broken by the children. So we have, as usual, the subject, then the verb to be, in this case it is in the past simple, and the past participle, and finally the agent, which is the children in this example. Of course, the agent is the person who carries out the action, and most of the time the agent is preceded by the preposition by the technician or by the children, as in the examples. In the grammar reference, page 83, remember that we use the passive voice to emphasize the action rather than who or what is responsible for it. And we form the passive voice by using the subject plus the verb to be plus the past participle of the verb. Now, dear students, keep in mind that we cannot talk about passive voice without the verb to be and the past participle of the verb. These are essential components of the passive voice. Here are some examples. The meeting is cancelled. So I have the verb to be plus past participle. Also, many lessons are taught online, or the letter was sent to the client. You have also the leaflets were distributed. Time to check understanding. You have 4 sentences. Read them and say whether they are active or passive. Pause the video and do the task. Let's share answers. So the first sentence, 20 civilians were killed in the bomb explosion. So the subject here is the recipient of the action. Very good. It's not the doer of the action. And we have also the verb to be plus the past participle. So here we are talking about the passive voice. Excellent. In the second sentence, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa in 1503. The subject here is the responsible for the action. Very good. And we have the verb to paint in the simple past tense. So we are talking about the active voice. In the third sentence, my father waters the plants every day. The subject here, my father, is also responsible for the action, and we have the verb waters in the present simple tense. So we are talking here about the active voice. Very good. The last example, penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Penicillin here, the subject is the recipient of the action. We also have the verb to be plus the past participle. Notice that we also have the preposition by that precedes the agent. Excellent. So here we talk about the passive voice. Very good. Now move to your student book, page 66, grammar section, activity A. Look at the examples and answer the questions that follow. First example, fire extinguishers are located at the end of each carriage. Second example, swimmers were strongly advised not to enter the water. Now pause the video and do the task. Time to share answers. So first question, why has the writer used the passive voice? Is it to emphasize the action itself or to emphasize the person who does the action? Correct. It's to emphasize the action itself. Now the second question, how is the passive voice formed? Is it by using subject plus is or was plus past simple, or by using subject plus verb to be plus past participle? Very good. The correct answer is subject, as you have in the examples, fire extinguishers, plus verb to be plus past participle. And the second example, we have swimmers, subject, plus verb to be in the past tense, plus the past participle of the verb. Now, read these three sentences and guess why the agent is removed. Remember, the agent is the person who carries out the action. Now, pause the video, read the sentences carefully, and guess why the agent is removed. Let's check what you guessed. The first example, the problem was eventually solved. Here, what is the most important thing? Excellent. The most important thing is that the problem was solved. We do not care who solved it. So in this case, we remove the agent when the action interests us more than the agent itself. The second example, my bag was stolen. It was stolen by someone who we do not know. So, when we do not know the agent, we remove it. The third example, BMW cars are made in Germany. Of course, they are made by factory workers. This is obvious. So when it is easy to figure out who the agent is, we remove it, so no need to use it. You can read through the grammar reference, page 83, for further understanding. Now, dear students, read the following sentences. 1. The currency that is used in France is the euro. 2. People who are diagnosed with COVID-19 should be quarantined for 14 days. 3. This is the list of the items which were stolen from the store. Now, is it possible to express these sentences differently in less words? Pause the video and try. Let's share answers. We can say in the first sentence, the currency used in France is the euro. So what have we done here? Excellent. We removed the relative pronoun and the verb to be. Second example, we can say, people diagnosed with COVID-19 should be quarantined for 14 days. We also remove the relative pronoun and the verb to be. And in the last example, we say, This is the list of the items stolen from the store. So notice that in relative clauses in the passive voice, we can omit the relative pronoun who or which or that and the verb form of to be. Time to practice. In your student book, page 66, activity B, choose A, B, C or D. Let's try to do the first one together. The language which in this region is of very old origin. So the subject in this sentence doesn't carry out the action, it receives the action. That's why I have to remove the verbs in active form like speaks and is speaking. Also, notice the use of the relative pronoun which, that implies the use of the passive voice in its full form, to be plus past participle. That's why I have to remove spoken, the past participle only. And the only correct answer here is spoken. Now pause the video and complete the task. Let's share answers. Several dictionaries for free on the internet. Here I have a fact, very good, which implies the use of the present simple tense. That's why I have to remove the verbs in past tense like was offered and in present continuous like are offering. Also, the passive voice should be used in using to be plus past participle. So the correct answer here is are offered. In the third example, the emails yesterday, we have to send them today. Notice the use of yesterday, very good, and we have to use the past simple tense. That's why I have to remove the answers in present tenses like aren't sent and are sending. Also, we have to send them today. This means that the action wasn't completed yesterday. So I have to remove the option were sent and the only correct answer is weren't sent. The last example, number 4, please read the document which, very good, is attached to the email I'm sending you. In the second set of sentences, the correct answers are on La Gomera whistling isn't often used by people who live in the city. Very good. Number 6, I would like to see the photos which were taken during our holidays. Excellent. And 7, this app is created by the company where my brother works. And the last one, this course was designed to improve the computer skills of first-year university students. How are these two sentences transformed from active voice to passive voice? Pause the video, read the sentences and find out. Time to share answers. So the first example, the teacher explains the lesson. I need to identify the components of the sentence. So I have the teacher is the subject, explains is the verb in the present simple tense, and the lesson is the object. In the passive voice, the object takes the place of the subject, and the verb to be is used plus the past participle of the verb. Then I have the subject in the place of the agent. Also, in the second example, I follow the same steps and I put the sentence in the passive voice. Now you're going to complete the table with the correct form of the given sentences. You have 2 sentences in the affirmative form. You're going to transform them into interrogative and negative form using the present simple and the past simple. Now pause the video and complete the table. Time to share answers. So in the affirmative form, the room is cleaned. In the interrogative, is the room cleaned? Excellent. Notice that we made an inversion. We brought the verb to be before the subject to ask a question. In the negative form, the room isn't cleaned. Also notice that we added not to the verb to be to negate the sentence. In the plural form, the rooms are cleaned. Are the rooms cleaned? Same changes, the verb to be before the subject. The rooms aren't cleaned. Excellent. Now in the past simple tense, the room was cleaned. Was the room cleaned? Same changes, inversion before the subject. The verb to be occurs before the subject. And in the negative form, the room wasn't cleaned. Plural form, the rooms were cleaned, were the rooms cleaned, and the rooms weren't cleaned. You can read through the grammar reference, page 83, for further understanding. Move to your student book, page 70, activity D. Rewrite the sentences using the present simple passive or the past simple passive. Start with the words given. Pause the video and do the task. Let's share answers. The company's employees send hundreds of emails every day. So hundreds of emails are sent by the company's employees every day. 2. The teacher explained the exercises once more. The exercises were explained by the teacher once more. All workers wear protective equipment at the building site. Protective equipment is worn by all workers at the building site.